This conference will now be recorded.
2.5. You can.
We've got someone online. It says News 4 reporter. Is this the news record, or can you identify yourself?
Yes, it's the news record.
Awesome,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any amendments to adopt, or do we have any adoptions to the agenda?
No amendments from my standpoint.
I just need approval for the adoption.
The agenda is written.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Review the minutes from October 7th, regular meeting minutes.
I'd like to approve the October 7th meeting minutes.
I'll second that. Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Accounts payable. Tina.
So pretty normal month, other than 76549, which was in the amount of 175,782.56, and that was to Rochester Sand and Gravel. Seal coating around town, and part of the cost share with the township for Sugarloaf. So Mike's got that bill, and we'll bill the township accordingly. They're part of that. So there's no questions. The rest of the bills are pretty monthly amounts of normal activity. But I'd make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $309,088.81.
Any further questions for Tina? Sorry, Chris.
You're good, bud.
Go ahead.
I'll second that.
I need a motion. I wasn't going to motion.
I did make a motion. He
Oh,
seconded
did you?
it.
Sorry. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Tina.
Mhm.
Public comments. Individuals may address the city council about any items of concerns. Speakers must state their name and limit their remarks to 5 minutes. Any public comment? I will close the public comment portion. I will jump to 8A. Zimba Downtown Sound System. Did I
There
say
is
it?
no M in this.
Did I say it? Oh, dang it. We were practicing it on Tuesday and I had it all right. Oh, dang it. Michael,
It's not as if you.
okay. Zeba. Let's do
There you
that.
go.
I thought Sue Ziegler was going to be at the council meeting. She did attend the EDA meeting last night to talk about a proposed speaker system downtown. Wireless speaker system. They could play music from certain time periods within the day, holiday music, whatever it might be. It can also be used as a PA system for when we have the parade back on Main Street. It can announce the floats and things like that. So, but yeah, they made a presentation to the EDA, and they're going to pursue putting that together. They're finalizing some quotes, and then they'll come back with a formal request for the EDA to see if they can secure some help in funding those. Mike Olson has met with them as well as far as attaching the light poles. All they'll need is a plug-in for the wireless system. At first, they were looking at a wired system, which would have been a whole lot of work. But they went to a wireless system now, so they just have to plug in the individual speakers and the repeater that sends the signal. So that's what she would have presented. We'll just keep you posted on that.
Most businesses along with this, I mean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The whole Zebra Group. I almost said it. The whole Zebra Group, we met with them, what day was that? Tuesday morning that we met with them. We went to their meeting and they're all excited about it, so.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brian. 8B, surveillance cameras. Brian.
Yes, after many, many months of gathering information and quotes and trying to get good apples to apples comparison, I met with the technology committee on Monday morning at 7 a.m.
It's been
And,
a busy week, Brian. I think we've met every day
I
for
think so
some
too,
committee
yeah.
or another.
Yep. We had 5 bids from different companies, Custom Alarm, Red Wing Tech, Up and Running, Loeffler, and Verkada. Verkada and Loeffler were the only ones that, oh, let me back up. Along the way, as a technology committee, we decided that we wanted to do a cloud-based system, an IP system rather than a NVR system, which requires a big backbone, a bunch of equipment here at City Hall, server, things like that. We're kind of going away from servers. And so the only 2 companies that wanted to quote an IP system was Verkada and Loeffler. Both very good companies. Loeffler does a lot of security cameras, and they've been in business for many years. Verkada is a relatively new company, I think 7 years, but they've got a lot of people, a lot of customers already, and they're building like crazy. And they did a nice job in quoting for us, putting together a system. These cameras are basically plug and play, inside the building here. I demoed a couple right from my office window. I had it facing out here for about a month and recorded everything for a month just by plugging it in, and then it connects via the cloud by Wi-Fi. Cameras, we're proposing a camera out in the lobby to capture everything out there. One on the police corner, which will capture the garage and a wide range. One over on this corner, which will capture the library. And the rest of the parking lot over that way, and then one over here, or 2 actually, I think there's 2 more over here. One that'll capture the bridge and the lawn there, and then one that'll be directed more towards the trailhead. And then 2 cameras out at the brush dump. This is part of getting recycling back for the community. We've heard a lot about that. A lot of citizens want that back. This is part of that effort. So there'll be 2 cameras on a pole out there, one that will capture license plates. We'll have a central point to enter the area where the recycling will be on the brush site, brush dump, and we can capture license plates coming in there and the whole area where the recycling will be. And then there'll be another camera that will capture the rest of the brush site, so we can, mitigate any dumping of things that shouldn't be out there. So what we're looking for is approval to move forward with Verkada. Their system, $26,436.45. Now there will be some contingency things in there. There'll be some things that come up with installation, I'm sure. Oh, I know, I forgot to say, there's 2 of them in the bridge as well. That was probably the most important one, so we can protect our bridge, our biggest asset in town. So we'll have surveillance in the whole bridge now. So that'll be good, but a little under $27,000. The pole and the electricity out at the brush site will be about $2,200. Fences and gates somewhere around $4,300, $4,500. So what I'm looking for is maybe a not to exceed number of around $35,000 to get this whole system put in. We're going to try and fit it under rescue plan dollars. Not sure. I'll have to get some guidance there, but if it doesn't fit there, we do have some dollars for City Hall, police maintenance dollars, and also some technology dollars. So if the rescue plan dollars don't work out, we will have the dollars in a couple other places that we'll put together to make this work. We just think we're getting to we need security. We need these cameras. There's been some things in and around the police side already that have been a little bit concerning, that we would like to have some surveillance out there. And of course, we want to keep an eye on things out here as well. The cameras are just very capable. Facial recognition. We can have it detect movement at odd times. We can say if there's any movement at 2 a.m., notify me. Whoever has access can get it on their phone. We can stream everything to the big TV in the police side. All the cameras can be side by side up there on the TV and they can watch things from there. So, and we can grow this system as big as we want it. You know, we could put cameras wherever. The remote spots, you know, with a hot spot for now. So it'll be some monthly cost, about $35 monthly cost for a hot spot at the bridge and a hot spot out at the brush site. But moving forward, you know, we can get them out at the shop, we can get them at the plant, we can get them downtown if we want. And yeah, they're just basically plug and play. Oh, it's a 10-year deal. All the updates, software updates are included. If we have problems with the camera, they next day air another one to us. So we have some time to grow into the capital budget as well. The renewal after 10 years will be a little under $8,000, and that would get us another 10 years. So they had a, you know, very good system being used by more and more communities. I've got a number of, in their material, there's some communities that are already using them. So everybody speaks highly of them. So anyway,
Awesome.
that was kind of wordy, huh? But kind of exciting. Finally
is.
get this to this point.
Yeah, and it really started with these conversations last year of, you know, starting the technology discussions of how do we work from anywhere when our offices have to close down, and this was that next step. So excited we're at this point.
Yep,
So I would
yep.
make a motion to approve the purchase up to $35,000.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Brian. 8C, Loman LOC return cancellation agreement. You want to start with this, Matt?
No.
So,
Just give him a break.
Planning Commission Council approved a conditional use permit for the solar array out by program. And part of the agreement, part of the permit was that they post some sort of security for decommissioning so that if the company goes bankrupt, there'll be funds available for helping dismantle the system. And so either set aside funds in an escrow account or a letter of credit. There's multiple ways to do that. And they chose letter of credit, which usually costs like an annual fee. Would you know, is it a percentage, like 1% or something?
Sometimes it's a flat fee or sometimes it is a percentage, yep.
So now they want to change that to put $25,000 in an escrow account, which makes sense. So asking for approval on that.
Anything to add, Brian?
Nope, I think that's,
So we just
appreciate Matt
need a-
being able to explain it for us.
We just need a motion to approve the change.
That 25,000, what they need to do. Who knows?
Who knows?
That question was asked. But it's something,
What was the letter of credit amount?
25,000.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Sale of forfeited vehicle. Chief.
So we secured a vehicle that was seized in forfeiture on a DUI offense back in March. We received a certificate of forfeiture, and at this point, it's a 2003 Ford Escape. And the plan will be to put it up on min bid and see what happens and get rid of it. It's our property, so we're selling it.
So I'll make a motion to allow the police department to sell the forfeited vehicle.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Chief. 8D, minor subdivision, 612 St. Paul Road. Dylan.
Yeah, so 2 months ago, the property owner, Mark Mangan of 612 St. Paul Road, applied for a minor subdivision. And in your packet, you'll see the certificate of survey, which is something that they need to apply for that. And gives you a gist of where he's wanting to draw the line. The minor subdivision stems from, he's trying to sell the larger portion of the parcel and keep the smaller portion that has existing fixtures on it. I believe he leases those out to Zumbrota Drivetrain. So he has some contractual obligations to keep those buildings. So he's applying for a minor subdivision to split off the rest of the lot. A public hearing was held and Planning Commission recommends approval of the minor subdivision.
The planning and zoning approved it. So wasn't there a purchase agreement for the whole thing?
Yes, there was a purchase agreement that was supposed to close on September 1st that was held off because of discrepancies with the purchase agreement, which led to the application for a minor subdivision, which led to the purchase agreement getting canceled. But the application for the minor subdivision was never withdrawn.
I see.
So and that brings up a good point. If approved, it should be contingent upon payment because they are not, I haven't been able to get a hold of them.
We can approve it, but we're gonna need to make it contingent on approval. Or contingent on payment.
Yeah.
And I questioned it, why even have it on the council if we haven't been paid yet for the application? And Dylan said, let's just at least go forward with the application, but don't approvals on contingent of payment.
So are they still applying for the minor subdivision?
Last we heard, yes. Well, regardless of the land, he's going to need the minor subdivide to keep his buildings. And what I've been working on the past few weeks is aiding the need for the buildings, but that's been fruitless. So, you know, he has that land that if you guys are familiar with the site, he mowed those trees down whenever he did, and he got the land ready, and there's interested parties for certain types of uses. But the past purchase agreement was a different type of use, and that one fell through. But this has been their plan since the spring for a minor subdivision to keep the existing fixture portion of the land.
Sure. Do you want a motion to approve what planning and zoning already approved in a minor subdivision contingent on that they pay the planning and zoning fee for that?
Correct.
Got that? Who's taking minutes? Oh, they're
I'm taking motions.
I think that's it. Did I capture it correctly? I think I did.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed, passes 500. Thanks, Dylan. 8E, resolution of 2021-18, sale of city-owned property. Dylan.
Yeah, so for the past few months, we've been working to procure a sale with interested individuals for the city-owned lot. And this is a two-part thing. One of it's a memo. My memo is we should start listing it for sale to the public. But also looking into some of the statutes of city selling land. I found, and I spoke with Matt about this too, we need a resolution to sell this land. And the resolution stems from a city cannot sell land without consulting with the Planning Commission, but the stipulations under it are usually, for example, city-owned parks, things of that nature, not a residential lot. So the end of the statute says that the city council can sell the land or approve of the sale of the land through a resolution, which just bypasses us 45 days, let's say. So it's a motion to approve the resolution to sell the city-owned lot in the Highlands, 165 Golf Links Avenue.
Resolution?
Yeah.
Is it in here and I just can't see it?
2021-18.
Got it. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-18, sale of city property.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, passes 500. Thanks, Dylan. We are going to jump back to 8A. Sue, do you want to come up here and we talked to Brian, give a little bit of spiel of the sound system?
Okay. Thank you. I run late. Hopefully I sold at home in Zumbrota, so that's why I was late, and I had to make copies. So thank you for letting us go speak. I'm going to hand out some copies of what we're proposing. What ZEPA would like to do with assistance or help from the city and or both the EDA and the city is to put an audio system up for speakers downtown between West 2nd and West 4th. They could be used year round for music, for the parade to announce people throughout the parade, for somebody to sing the Star Spangled Banner. Just, we really think it would prosper Zumbrota and maybe put Zumbrota on the map for, hey, let's go to Zumbrota. God, have you been there? Have you heard their music system? And just anything to draw people to Zumbrota. It could be a good draw. When I moved here in early 80s, Lochner's had a couple speakers out, and Covered Bridges, I've been told, had one, but Dave Epcot didn't like it, so he didn't play it very much. But it just does something, and nowadays I think we need that extra little something to put a warm fuzzy in us and help the downtown area and other communities around. So I'm going to hand out what we're proposing. Our first bid that we're not going to go with, and Mike sat in on that one. Tina, you have.
Yep, I have one. I'm good. Thank you.
How you doing? Brian does. You may have to share. This is the actual speaker system we're kind of looking at. Sorry, backtracking. There you go. Instead of 22,000 from Stim Sounds in Winona, which would make a lot of wiring and digging up sidewalks, so we put 22 plus. This system is 12,000. So a little more. And it's actually in Luck, Wisconsin. So if any of you want to do a road trip to see what their sound system sounds like, I would encourage it. Maybe do a family outing and go up there. They only play the music from 11 to 2, so keep that in mind. But on this sheet here where it's Creek Sounds, if you would turn it over to the second page, it tells you a Facebook page that you can go on to. And in that first video of the sound system, you will hear someone singing the Star Spangled Banner on it, which is crystal clear. It's awesome. And they ran the big promoter for Street Sound Systems. If you call Street Sound Systems, that guy will tell you, yeah, they've been our biggest promoter. Because it works. And Chris did a little more into that with Street Sounds and the city of Luck. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about finishing these out.
Okay. So Luck, Wisconsin was one of the first ones that, I think this was a fairly new company back in 2017. And they put a system in approximately a 4-block area. And the company is based in Georgia. And they actually flew a rep out and had them help install it because I think it was a fairly new concept at that time. It's a wireless system. So they're proposing that we'll need roughly 5 sets of dual speakers, which mount on light poles using 110 power, which I'm told, Mike, can you confirm that we have power at the poles? So we don't need to go down through the chase, through the sidewalk, any of that. It's all done wirelessly.
Yeah.
So there's a transmitter involved. I will, we're pretty early in the whole process, so I will talk to them again and see if there's a transmitter that has to be put somewhere, and I'm going to see what he would recommend as far as how close it needs to be to the speakers, or if there's a booster, or, you know, I'm not real.
At the EDA meeting that we were at last night, they asked some questions and like, could it be used at the covered bridge? Well, if we have it on Main Street, when maybe with a booster, so we need to do a little more checking, but that would be a possibility if we could get a booster to also be down there. Yeah, and in Luck, Wisconsin, correct me if I'm wrong, the base is on Main Street at their city hall because they purchased it, they did it, and City Hall is right on the main street. So that's why we would have to determine where the base would be. maybe Chris's. But, we're in the beginning stages, but we wanted to come forward to city council, let you know what we're thinking of, and hopefully get your feedback, thoughts, if there's any money to be had, any grants or anything that you could suggest to help us make this happen. It's not going to happen for Christmas this year, which as much as I really wanted it to happen, because
Due to the chip shortage, they're backed up way into next year, so.
So hopefully next spring would be our goal. And I guess to install, if you have that question in mind, to quote his words, it's
Any idiot can.
any idiot can do it. So it's a matter of plugging it in and having a separate computer or iPad or something to run it, and voila. So, any questions at all? I didn't mean to turn my back to you, sorry.
Presentation to the EDA, I think good discussion last night. So really looking forward to seeing how this kind of can come to fruition.
It's a total like 12,000 you talked about.
Yeah, it's about 11,000 something with these figures on the sheet and the shipping. I don't, or I rounded it up to 12,000,
Okay.
hopefully,
Have we
that.
talked money amongst what they're looking for the EDA and or the city?
Talk about it next month's agenda.
Yeah, because there might be some money available, I understand. So that would be great. We have, and I'll be honest with you, we have received, I wrote a grant for Zumbrota Community Trust. We did receive $1,500 because that's what I was informed to ask for. We should have asked for a lot more money, but we did give $1,500. And that was in the grant, it said for sleigh rides, for things like that. So not just the speaker system. And then I did put a request out to Zumbrota Lions, and their meeting was canceled this past week or last week due to so many sick people, but they're going to bring it back up. So there's that,
So our hope is by next month, when you guys meet, that we'll have more information and a better understanding of how this all
Right.
comes together. I hope to trip up to Luck actually and hear it.
And Dylan had a question last night about, maintenance of it, and that we'll find out from Luck on what their costs are.
A monthly service fee or
Yeah,
anything like that?
internet
Okay.
service.
It depends on, your internet, if you do Sirius XM, if you do Pandora, if you, your playlists, and then who controls it, which would come down the road a little bit, but.
Yeah.
And the controls, I believe, are accessible remotely
Mhm.
via
So you don't
login.
have to really,
You don't have to be on
I
site.
find out
to-
how close you
Yeah,
need to be,
yeah.
but I think you could just do it, right?
Well, yeah,
Basically. I don't know about,
most
Being
home
at most
systems,
people.
I mean, we can turn our furnace up and down, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming they could do the same thing. So.
right. Yeah, the Nest systems, yeah.
Any more questions?
Any questions?
Much appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you
Yeah.
for allowing us to be a little late.
No problem. Yes. 8F, Chief Callahan wage adjustment. Brian?
Yes, I've been having weekly or almost weekly department head meetings, and one of the things that, among many things that the chief and I have discussed, was how we implemented the salary schedule when we did that. Of course, you all know the salary study was underway when I came, and then we implemented it after I came, and the way we implemented that salary study was we moved everyone to the next highest dollar amount step within the pay grade. We moved Pat, Chief Callahan, to step 4, within grade 14, which is where he fell. And through some discussions with Pat and with the personnel committee, I really didn't look at years of experience, education level, didn't do a whole lot of, well, of course, the looking at other salaries in the area had been done. So in looking closer at it, I think I should have looked a little bit at that. We're lucky to have Pat. He's done a wonderful job as our chief, well respected by his employees and colleagues in the area. I've spoken to a lot of them, and they all respect him. He's got over 24 years of law enforcement experience, 10 as a chief, including 7 here. And he finished a master's degree while he's been with us in Zumbrota. So the personnel committee and I, we looked at area chief salaries now, years of experience, level of education, and Pat's, well ahead of most chiefs in the area, in those areas. Yet the salary doesn't reflect, that, including the masters. So what the personnel committee and I are proposing is to move Chief Callahan from step 4 within pay grade 14, which is where he's at now, to step 6. So staying within the grade, just moving a couple of steps just to recognize, the years of service, the masters that wasn't recognized. That's a lot of work, and that sets him above a lot of other chiefs in the area. So yep, we would request and recommend that we move the chief from step 4 to step 6 within his current salary range.
Any further questions for Brian?
And just we did some of this with another position when we implemented the salary study at that time. So we've kind of done some of this as it comes up, but that was right at the time of the salary study, and this one just was unnoticed until we talk more about it. So I think it's the right thing to do, and it's a little bit of impact on the budget, but not much. But it's great to have the chief around, and we like to keep him around here. So
I'll make that motion to step up to step 6 and pay grade 14.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Chief. Reports. Brian.
oh boy, a long one tonight. So
Right?
settle in.
Seriously, it's been a long week.
American Rescue Plan Act, we had our kickoff meeting finally. And what we did was we gave all the committee members the information that we have for what it is, where money can be spent. We gave the categories for spending and started brainstorming some ideas, maybe some areas where monies might be allocated. What came out of that meeting is that we need a formal application. So everybody formally applies in a formal way. So we're comparing everything equally. So I'm working on that right now. Once we have that, then we can start nailing down some areas to spend money. Technology, some things around town. We've got all kinds of different ideas floating out there. So our next meeting is November 4th, right after the council meetings. So it'll be once a month after council meetings.
You're 7, or do we know?
Well,
7 o'clock?
we said 7. Or we were going to invite them in at 6:30, and if we went long, they could listen. But I think we went 7. So.
Thank
So then we'll know more after that meeting. We'll have the application. I'm going to get that out to a couple of people that have asked, or a couple organizations that have asked already. So I'll get those filled out and have those back for that meeting. North Zumbro Sanitary District. This thing is really taken a life of its own. It's going really well. The Sanitary District Legislative Subcommittee put together the final documents to get on the governor's priority bonding bill list. So we're waiting word back on that. Yeah, we did a resolution of support in September. That was part of that request to get on that list. That was one of the requirements that we had all that support from each community. We've developed a 2-sided handout that'll be used from now and then with the legislators when we do the bonding tours. And for that, we've been working on the agenda for a presentation. We have to do 2 different type agendas because with these bonding bill tours, they may pull the bus up and we have to get on and go ride with them to the next spot, which we won't have any technology to show them pretty pictures and things. That's where the handout comes in. Or they might pull in and they all come in here and we can have some refreshments for them and talk to them and do a presentation on the screen. So if it is here, we would look at having the community's mayors, administrator, and city engineers, with the mayor speaking briefly about the specifics of the community and wastewater treatment needs. And the engineers would give the project details and lay out things in layman's terms. Hopefully engineers can lay things out in layman's terms for them. If it's on the bus, then we're just going to send 2 mayors and 2 city engineers to give the presentation. Pine Island continues to reach out to Prairie Island to see what they're going to be doing out there. They build, projected a lot of houses out there. We're trying to get them involved and be part of this. We just think it makes sense. Plus, we'd give a little bit of more political support for the whole effort. So that's kind of where we're at with that. We've got another sanitary district meeting Wednesday next week, I believe. That's the full committee. We'll talk some more then. The Service Line Warranties of America program that we approved. So they sent out letters the first time, a bunch of people signed up, and then they sent out reminder letters, but those reminder letters went to everybody. And a couple of people signed up twice now, not, thinking that, oops, they must have forgot to do it. And so the reminder letters are kind of making a few difficulties, but we're handling those as they come up, directing them, back to the phone number to call, the person to talk to take care of that. But it sounds like there's been pretty good interest. 2020 census numbers, I got the official numbers, from the government. Total population, 3,726 for Zumbrota. That's up from 3,252 in 2010. That is 14.6% growth over a 10-year period. I heard, I didn't actually look at it, but I heard rumor that we're one of the top 2 growing communities in Goodhue County, along with Pine Island. So pretty good growth. If we continue that over the next 10 years, we're gonna, doing pretty well. We're working on a newsletter to send out, a paper newsletter. Our last official big mailing. It's very expensive to send paper out, so we're trying not to. We're gonna try to communicate with technology as much as possible. We've got our new communication system and Zumbrota app. I want to encourage everyone to go online, download the app. Most people have a smartphone now. If not, you can be enrolled in, we'll push it out to text messages, emails, Facebook, all those areas. So that'll be highlighted in the newsletter. We're going to highlight a couple of ordinances in there. Each department head will have some space to talk about things that they've got going on. We'll have a spot for the mayor in there. We're going to have a section explaining taxes and how taxes work, how city taxes work. And we're still working on a few more things to put in there. Like I say, each of the department heads will have a spot too. So that's it. I can come up with more if you want me to.
Thanks, Brian. Matt?
No.
Chief?
I just wanted to mention that our newest employee started yesterday and we're off to a good start. So he seems like he's going to ease in very well. And so we're looking forward to having him.
Trainer?
Yeah. No. But we're looking forward to that. And so I'm impressed with his candor, and he's already gotten out in the community with me and met some people, and so he's doing well. So we're looking forward to it. But that's all I got. Oh, other than thank you in regards to addressing the wage adjustment.
You're welcome. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Dylan?
This week I was requested to present to ZIBA about the formulation of a chamber of commerce. Yeah, not Zimba, ZIBA. But I'll be working with them over the next few months. Our next meeting to talk about this topic is January, just about the formulation of a chamber, which would take some time because there would be fundraising efforts needed. But that's my report.
Thanks, Dylan. James? No. Mr. Olson?
Push the button, Mike.
Couple items.
Push the button so we can hear you. We got to get the minutes from Tim, so. Sorry.
Couple items. Scott Haneke and myself have been out talking to local businesses for Jefferson Drive project and trying to get that all pinned down for everybody. We have a few left to meet with, but we've got through most of them and it's been really good. And it's good to get out and talk to the people face to face. Secondly, I'll just go back to a little bit of the accounts payable with Rochester Sand and Gravel, which Tina went over is there was a total savings from what we had originally quoted on that. We had, I don't know what the original quote was, but it was $59,723 less than the original quote. So that'll help going into next year.
Where was the savings at work?
We didn't do, there was some recommendations up at Trailstead's not to do some of what we thought we'd have to get into for rebuilding the roads and using a bunch of breaker rock. It was just, they did some test rolling up there and it wasn't as bad as what we thought, other than the fact that we've lost that street up there, you know, the crown was good and stuff, so. But that saved quite a bit for us.
Perfect.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Mike. I have nothing. Tina?
Just a quick note, we did have a fire board meeting on, what day is today? Thursday, Wednesday, what, EDA was up Tuesday. We had a fire board meeting Tuesday. Really good discussion, really getting kind of ahead of the 2023 budget to really get in alignment with the townships and their opportunities to levy tax dollars. So probably at the next meeting, I will bring forward what that increase is. Want to get some options and, you know, certainly have our finance director here as we're looking at our share of those costs. Other than that, a couple of things, they're looking at replacing the roof. They still have this radio issue, which seems like it's a countywide issue. So at some point, there was a grant that replaced a whole bunch of radios in the county, and everybody's radios are now due and they're expensive. So looking at some funding mechanisms to replace those. Otherwise, I think it's going pretty good. That's what I got.
Chris?
I have nothing today.
Bob?
I have nothing.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Black represents the new curve.
I have nothing as well.
Things are turning